Good afternoon. So today we've got a little bit different video. We just got back from Florida, the white sandy beaches of Florida, and came home to a foot of snow. So we've been moving snow for the last day and a half, and we've got about another 8 or 10 inches coming starting tonight. The phone's going off right now with weather advisories and all that fun stuff. But I have a 2016 Chrysler 300, and it keeps giving me a code that I need to replace the thermostat. We'll show you the clip of, I've got a scan tool that mounts or that Bluetooths to my phone, and it'll keep all the codes. So I'll show you the code, but the heat in the car is fine, and the temperature of the engine is fine. So I really question whether this is going to fix my problem or not. But anyway, we'll show you how we do this, how we change a thermostat on, this is a 2016 Chrysler 300S. I believe 2011 through 2018 all take the same part number. This is a CarQuest part number 49549. It is a thermostat and housing all in one. Kind of different. It used to be able to just buy just the thermostat, but now it's all one piece. So we'll go ahead and show you how to replace this. So this is the app on my phone that connects to the code reader, and as you'll see here in the red, it's showing 3 codes. They're all the same code. It's for the engine thermostat. It says the coolant thermostat, need to replace it, and then as I scroll up here you'll see I've got 2 or 3 more. Good. Alright, so this top piece has to come off, and it's just, you just pull it up. I think it's just 4. These little pop onto these things. It pops right off. So get that out of the way, and then we got to take this hose off. And the one back here. So that should be loose enough. Pop that off. And then there's another one of them little suction things down here. I'll bring the camera around on this other side. Right there. It just kind of is popped down in there. So it pops off. And then you can pull this off. You've got another sensor there. As long as you're careful, should be there. Okay. So here's that thermostat housing right here. So we're going to lose some coolant when we pop that hose off. So we're going to slide this under there. Try and get it in the right spot. Of course, you know it probably won't be. It'll hit the serpentine belt and everything else and probably end up not going where it's supposed to, but we'll try and get it to fall in the pan, and I'll get a set of pliers and we'll pull that off there. I guess there's actually hose clamp pliers. I don't have those, so we're just going to use normal pliers. And yep, it broke loose pretty easy, and it's already leaking coolant. So what we'll do is we'll pull this off and bring it up to try and limit the amount of coolant that comes out of this hose anyway. What's going to come out of there we kind of have no control over. So that wasn't too bad. I'll just need to find out what size. Of course, it's not the same size. Maybe that's, so the clamps were 8 millimeter. Let's see, I'm gonna guess 10 millimeter on this. And I guessed correctly. So there's a bolt on top, and there's one on bottom. You can't see it, but you can feel it there. And it's loose. So we'll time lapse this while I'm taking it off. All right, we've got the bolts out, so we'll just, this should just pop right off. There, we're losing some more coolant. Okay, hopefully that's going in the pan down there. If not, we'll have to get the floor dry out and clean this mess up. So, let me go get the new thermostat. Okay. All right, so this already has gasket and everything in there. This thing is ready to go. So, we will just pop it in there and we'll start the top bolt. And then I'll start the bottom bolt. All right, that is started. Snug it up on both sides by hand, and then we'll put the wrench on it. You don't want to overdo it. Everything's plastic nowadays, so just be careful on how tight you put things. All right, I'm going to quit there. So, I'm going to put the clamp on that side so I don't have to come up and over the rib there. So we'll see if that helps. I'm not a fan of this style of clamp anyway. I kind of like the old traditional hose clamp, but this is going to work. Okay, there it is. The hose is up against, there's a little stop there. The hose goes up against, the clamp is in place. Hose is back on. All right. Now what we need to do, we've got air in the system. So we're going to have to fill this all the way up, and this is a bleed valve right here. And we'll loosen that up and get all the air out of the system. So I'll go get some coolant. Okay. And obviously you don't want to take this cap off if the car's hot. It is not. This car has not ran for at least 24 hours. Since it brought us home from the airport yesterday from Florida. All right. Fill this clear full because as we drain the air out of the system, it will draw this back down. We'll leave the lid off so it can siphon over. Now if we loosen this, I've got a big bladed screwdriver here. The level in the tank is going down. There's the air coming out. Can you see on the back here, you see the air bubbles coming out? So, once we quit getting air bubbles, we'll tighten it back up. All right, we got solid liquid coming out now, so I'm going to stop. That took probably at least 45 seconds. We're going to cut some of the middle of that video out. Same thing here, don't over tighten. All that's plastic. This is plastic and the housing's plastic, so don't overdo that. And we'll put the cap back on here. Okay, so that's good. Hose clamps on, that's tight. I believe we are ready to put it back together. Okay, get this back in place without... So you got to go on here first, and then get our little stub in place down here. There, that snapped in place. Now this goes in place. Snug that up. Same thing over here. When you put this together, you can see there's a tab on here and there's a slot that it goes in there, so you know you're in the right position. So tighten that back up on the stub down there. We don't know the technical term for that, but all right, I think we're ready to run this. What we'll do next is we'll pull this car outside and run it and let it run for 15-20 minutes until the coolant gets warm enough for that thermostat to open, and then it'll circulate, and then we can double check to see if we need to add more coolant or not. The last thing, I guess, would be to throw this back on. That's on. Get some of this gravel dust off here. And we'll pull it outside and let it run for about 15-20 minutes. One last thing I will have to do is I'll have to reset the code on this once we get everything where it's supposed to be. Apparently my backup camera got pretty dirty on the way home yesterday from the airport. Can't see anything out of it. Okay, so we are going to ramp up our temperature all the way. We're on high, and we're going to turn our fan all the way down. Reason for that is we want it to draw as much coolant as it can, but we don't want the fan blowing through the, I'm going to call it a little radiator, where it's getting the heat to blow into the car, because we want all that heat going back to open up that thermostat. So 327 now. We're going to let this run for at least 10 minutes to get the temperature up. Our temperature gauge, of course, it's not actual, doesn't read temperature, it's just a gauge, and it's not even on the chart right now. So we'll be back with you. As you can see there's my check engine light that initiated this whole thing. So like I said, I'm not sure this is going to fix the problem, but it's telling me to change the thermostat, even though I was having what I thought was proper engine temperatures and the heat in the car was working. So we'll see if this fixes the problem. Hopefully it does. So here's what we came home to from Florida. There was no snow on the ground when we left. Came back to a foot of snow, and we got supposedly another 8 to 10 inches coming this weekend, starting tonight at midnight. So this hose is still cold, so I'm going to let it keep running. That thermostat has not opened up yet, so we're going to let it run for a while. So we've been running about 17 actually. The hose is warm, so that thermostat is open, and we have not lost any coolant. So we're in good shape there. We will take it out on the road next and take her for a drive and double check it again. But that part should be done. And then all I've got to do now is reset the code. So pull this back in the garage and get the door closed so I quit losing my heat. And we'll reset the code. And I probably need to change my temperature back down to normal so I don't hop in here and the thing's trying to bake me out of here. So, all right, we will reset the code. So I have the Innova 5410 car scanner, a code scanner. Try and do this with one hand. My camera girl went inside to make supper. So let's go hook this thing up. So we've got the cord. One end goes into the scanner, just like an old school printer cable. Hopefully you guys are seeing that. Just goes in, and now this is going to hook up underneath. Can't remember what they call it, but it's the port that the mechanics, the guys who know what they're doing, hook onto. And it's just right up here. It just plugs right in. All right, as soon as I plug that in, the screen lights up. I do believe that I have to have this in the run position. Thermostat rationality, DTC severity 2 of 3, repair immediately. Press any hotkey. So, my camera girl's back. So I'm gonna hook up to, I think I've got to, yeah, this beeping's gonna get annoying because I got my door open so I can do this. Bluetooth needs to be on. Open up the app. Erase all codes. Yes. Erase was successful. Thermostat rationality. Press any hotkey. Hang on, I gotta get the instructions. Restart this. With my phone on. Okay. Unplugged it. Plug it back in. Phone is on. Connect. Pairing in progress. And I have to put this back to the run position, pretty sure. 70. I can record my odometer. I think we're down to erasing all the codes. Okay, so I think my issue was, since I didn't think there was an actual issue with the thermostat, I had cleared the code and it popped up 2 more times. So I had 3 of them in here that I had to erase. So I had only erased it twice. So now I think we're back to normal. Yeah, I think we should be good. So everything should be cleared. We'll shut it off. See if when I start it, if the check engine light goes out. Check engine light is off. All right, we should be good on this one, hopefully. Live data. I think it actually, so it tells me what the temperature is right now. 178 degrees, which, yeah, it's just a slider graph on here, so you don't actually get the actual temperatures. So, all right, so I think this job is done. A little confusion there at the end, but I think we got it done. It's not a hard job at all. It's the hardest part was I don't use this scanner enough to know exactly how to do it, but we fumbled our way through and erased the codes. The check engine light is off. Thermostat is replaced. Grandpa glass is off. We're good to go. See you in the next one. Like and subscribe. And I know this was not a typical video for us, but my channel is about my life, and there's a lot of different things that happen and that I do. So this is one of them. And maybe you need to know how to change a thermostat in your Chrysler 300. Hopefully this will help you out. Talk to you later.